There's a lot going on in the world of Magic the Gathering right now. Wizards of the Coast has just come up with a crazy new way to use Magic cards. On top of that, we've discovered reactive life counters. And that's not even all the news we have to talk about today.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The Magic Historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. My friends, I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another installment of Mega Magic News. This is a roundup edition. I'll explain what I mean. We just went through the Crimson Vow spoiler season. And then before having any downtime from that, we launched right into hardcore Secret Lair Town, where we had a Secret Lair super drop and other stuff like the Mischief Secret Lair. So there are a lot of different Magic news items that kind of got left by the wayside, shoved into crevices, what have you. So I have scurried around like a little news mouse, grabbing these little bits of news cheese so we may nibble them together. Now, we're going to start out talking about Wizards' crazy new use for Magic the Gathering cards. Let me go ahead and put something that may seem confusing at first up on the screen. Take a gander at this. Your first reaction is probably, wait, what is this even that I'm looking at? It looks like somebody maybe taped parts of Magic cards together. Why are there multiple incomplete Magic cards shoved together like this? When you look at it, it seems like there's not much rhyme or reason to it. You stare and you go, okay, there's basic lands here. There's a swamp, there's an island, there's a plains. I can tell that they are from Midnight Hunt, although I do want to take a moment and say, man, Wizards of the Coast dropped the ball when it comes to expansion symbols between Midnight Hunt and Adventures in the Forgotten Realm. Later in this video, we're going to have the Adventures in the Forgotten Realm logo up on the screen, so I just want you to take a look now at the Howling Wolf down, like look down in the corner of the swamp there, look at the set symbol, and burn it into your brain, because I want you to contrast it to the other one when we get further on the video so you can really see how way too similar these are. When I first looked at this, I almost said Adventures in the Forgotten Realm just by looking at it. Anyhow, what we have here are multiple basic lands from the same set, but there's a hole in the middle with a crazy little Magic card back part behind it. Like, what even is this supposed to be? This is actually a Secret Lair insert. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, the newest Secret Lairs come in much smaller boxes than before, but each of these boxes will have a cardboard insert that's designed to push the majority of the Secret Lair cards to the forefront, and also to hold the secret bonus card. I mean, I just did secret in little air quotations here. You can't even see me on the screen and I'm doing it just because we all know the secret cards aren't secret by the time you get the Secret Lair. But what they've done here is they are making all of the cardboard inserts for Secret Lair boxes going forwards out of Magic test sheets. So what you're seeing here is actually part of a essentially pre-production sheet. Whenever Wizards of the Coast prints cards for their sets, the first number of sheets that come off of the printing presses are garbage. They have to be calibrated to the right location. There will be ink errors and things like that. I mean, we see some of the stuff escape out into the wild, but the short version of it is there's always sheets of cards that are wasted whenever Wizards of the Coast prints new cards. So they've decided, in an attempt to be more ecologically conscious, that they will recycle these test sheets into the cardboard inserts for the Secret Lairs. And I actually talked about this when we did the big Secret Lair roundup. They had the little insert saying, we're recycling Magic test sheets. I didn't realize this is what they meant. I thought they meant they were pulping them down and having them reformed into this, as opposed to taking test sheets as they are and literally forming them into the insert. And for me, this right here is really cool. I like it. It's just an extra layer of flavor. These are genuine Magic cards that never would have seen the light of day because there'd be problems with the sheets, and now here they are being given a second life. So you're helping the environment and adding a little extra flavor flavor to the secret layers at the same time. So for me, this is a huge win as a concept. I don't really see any downside to it. This is a good job that Wizards of the Coast sorted this out. So let us move on to the next item on my list, which is apparently we can be expecting more Origin-style Planeswalkers in the future. So if you're not familiar with Origin-style Planeswalkers, the idea is that they are double-faced cards. On the front side, you get a Planeswalker, but before they were a Planeswalker. So think, for example, if they chose to do this with the Brothers War set that's coming out at the end of 2022, then they would go, boom, check it out. Here's Urza as a human. Boom, here's Urza turning into a Planeswalker. So the idea of monocolored Origin-style Planeswalkers is being floated around. Now, this was over through Mark Rosewater, so maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But a lot of the times when he randomly asks people, hey, what do you feel about this concept? The reason he's asking it is because they've already done it or are right on the cusp of contemplating it. But a lot of times they've already done it. So I fully expect we're going to be seeing more Origin-style Planeswalkers, which is cool with me. I really like the concept. You got the regular version, and then you've got the Spark Ignited version on the other side. And actually, since we're talking about the Brothers War, I'm going to let you know, I'm working on the original Brothers War lore series over on my channel, Fantasy Geographic. And ideally, by the end of this month, the first installment of the Brothers War lore will be coming out. This is the very beginning of the Urza storyline. So I'll leave a link on the screen at the end of the video over to that channel, one of the lore videos. That way, if you want to get over there and get in on this goodness, you'll have the chance. Next news item on the list is the huge Magic event that went down in Las Vegas. It seems to have done quite well. We heard that the previous what was it? Some sort of TCG con or something like that. The previous event didn't do that well. They didn't get nearly enough turnout, and it was essentially considered a flop. In fact, the only thing that was considered a victory from it was the crazy meme playmat that was like something you got for participating. That is the most lasting and enduring part of that event. But this Vegas event went very well, apparently. You can see pictures with tons of people gathered. It really does feel like old school days in terms of, like, I used to go to Magic events where sometimes there'd be thousands of people. And it's just is a particular energy that inhabits a place like that I absolutely love. So I'm glad to see that even though the world had to slow down and things changed, that some things that I really enjoy and that matter to me, like paper Magic events, are surging back. So that is fantastic news. Now, let's talk about reactive life counters, because somebody discovered that the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms 20-sider is actually UV reactive, which means it changes the way it looks under black lighting. So I'm going to put up on the screen an image of this die under black lighting. And remember what I said earlier in this episode to remember the Midnight Hunt expansion symbol. Look at this dragon. Yes, they did put like instead of a circle symbol around it, you've got something that looks a little bit different, but the similarities are fairly glaring, right? So in my opinion, you shouldn't use expansion symbols that look so similar pretty much back to back, right? That's how it ended up playing out to me. But the idea that the 20-sider is UV reactive is actually really cool. And speaking of cool spin downs, the Crimson Vow spin down, oh, actually, I guess I should say the Adventures in the Forgotten Realm dice we just looked at isn't technically a spin down. It is a normal 20-sided die that you can use to play Dungeons and Dragons. But the Crimson Vow spin down, which is on the screen now, is a standardized Magic spin down, and it essentially is glow in the dark, which I thought was really neat. And I want to end off today's news story with one of those feel good about the Magic community style moments, because you know what? You can go to places like Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, wherever, and you can find a lot of people being genuinely awful in the Magic community. But sometimes something nice happens. There was a post made by somebody, I believe the name was Island Miss, all right? And it essentially said, "Man, I hate being reminded that I'm a broke student, check out the deck box I had to make myself. And you can see on the screen here, this is literally just made out of some tape from an old UPS box, where it's like cut up the box, take the tape off it, use it to seal it into a box. And it does look pretty hurting. But the good news is that a bunch of people came out of the woodwork saying, yo, give me your address, I will send you a deck box. Someone's like, I'll send you multiple deck boxes. Somebody else like, I'll hook you some sleeves. Like, this sort of community feeling that you get is something that's really nice. And I want to appreciate that aspect of the Magic community as well. So I figured, you know what? We live in a sea of negativity, and it can really wear you down. But remember, underneath it all, people are generally good. And I am glad we are all part of the cardboard rectangle community. Thanks for being here, my friends. Huge thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel. It means very much to me. And I will see all of you, my friends, in the next video. Or if you head on over to my Hatcher channel, I might actually be playing Magic right now. I might actually be live streaming Chandelar right now. If everything works out properly, that's where I am at this moment. So come on by and say hello. Link on the screen to Fantasy Geographic and my Hatcher channel. Goodbye for now.